Hey guys, today we're gonna be talking about just feeling like a burden. Have you ever felt like you've been a burden to people? Have you ever felt like you just didn't fit in, or people just didn't have time for you, or maybe they didn't want to make time? You felt like you needed someone, but you didn't want to ask them, or maybe in the past you did ask people and they couldn't be there for you for whatever reason, or maybe you just didn't really want to be there. You see, this is a very transparent video, something that I really feel like the Lord put in my heart to do, because I also was someone that was suffering from this. It's one of the reasons why people would consider committing suicide, because they feel like they're a burden, or they feel like they're just troubling other people, and they don't want to ask for help even though they need help, even though they know they need help, and they really want to ask for help, but they also struggle with this guilt of asking because they feel like the other person either has too much on their plate or doesn't care about them. And I know that those two things could be possibly a lie that the devil tries to whisper into people, but see, that's the thing that most of us have felt, right? Have you ever felt like you've burdened someone, whether it's in my personal life or in my leadership positions in church and just in organizations? I struggled with asking for help and asking people to help me in areas that I knew I needed help in. And you see, that's the very thing that we can see when we see people that don't want to ask for help, or they've maybe asked for help, or you could see people that, in my case, a lot of my friends, they've gotten married, they've settled down, and as you transition in life, you are either forced to make new friends, or you transition with your friends. And sometimes there's seasons where you cannot transition with your friends, and no knock on them and no knock on my current friends, and this is not a diss video, it's more of a video reflection. Have you ever felt like you needed someone, you wanted someone to hear you out, or you wanted someone to be there for you, or you just didn't want to go to the store alone? Or one of those people that don't like to go into the movie theaters alone, and preferably I don't really like to do many things alone. It's weird because I'm an introvert, I would say, by nature, but we weren't created to be alone, and we weren't created to do everything alone. We weren't created to just rely on ourselves and our own strength. And I felt like I was a burden to the people around me when I would ask for help in certain things, or I would ask to hang out and they couldn't, or I needed someone to just give me advice on something. I just felt like it was a burden. You see, although I never got to the point in my life where I would consider suicide, and thankfully I believe that God surrounded me with a good support group, I also started to figure out that it's not that I was a burden to people, it was that people perhaps couldn't be there for me. And because I believe God puts people in different places, and where you can see and really witness their strengths and their weaknesses. And although people couldn't help me in certain areas, I would see that God would surround me with new people that were there for me. And whenever I felt like I was anxious about something, or I just needed counsel about something, I could go to those people, and I could go to my old friends, but I didn't have to feel like I was burdening people, because it just felt natural, it just felt organic. It felt like I was just privileged to do life with them, but they were also just honored to also do life with me, if that makes sense. If you're struggling with this, I want to tell you that this feeling is not something that you're supposed to feel, and it's not something that most of the time your friends and your family want you to feel. And if someone has ever told you that you are burdening them, or you're wasting their time, or you're stressing them out, or whatever negative association they try to assimilate you to, it's okay. Surround yourself with people that don't make you feel like you're a burden. Maybe make new friends, maybe go out and just find people that you can do common things with, and just, I really think that we weren't created to do life alone, and we weren't created to do everything by ourselves and be self-sufficient. Only God is self-sufficient. Only God can not rely on someone. We need to rely on people. We rely on people on the daily, right? We rely on the garbage workers to throw out our trash, as we rely on mechanics and we rely on Target or Walmart employees to provide for us. And you see, this is the thing. I believe that we are not created to do things alone, and if you feel like you need help, seek it. And if you feel like no one around you can help you out, it's okay. It's okay to ask for people outside of your circle to help you. It's okay to go to a counselor. It's okay to go to a pastor, even if he's not from your church. It's okay to just reach out, and you know what? If they can't help you or they don't want to help you, there's always 1,000 other people that are willing and wanting to help you. And listen, you might not know me from a hole in the wall, or maybe you do know me and we haven't really talked like that, but if you really do need help, please seek it. And if there's anything that I could do, please reach out. If you ever need someone, my friends know that I'm a go-to person, and sometimes the go-to person needs a go-to person. I wanted to tell you that there is a go-to person, and that's Jesus. Jesus is the go-to person all the time. And whenever I feel like I'm a burden, I just pray and I just ask God to lead me away from that feeling. And Jesus tells us that, and I just want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with the thought that if you today are feeling like a burden, to come to Jesus, as Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me those heavy, labored, and tired, and I shall give you rest. Take upon my yoke, for it is easy, and it will give you rest." If you do feel a burden, or you're feeling like you're burdening someone, come to Jesus. Pray about it. Just let me know. Let me know how I can help you. Let's pray for each other. God bless.